Hello and welcome to In Your Face. I'm your host, Aiden Stearns, along with Andrew Seaford and Caden Leonard. So our first topic is, what do you guys think about the MLB intentional walk rule?
I think it's a good rule because when you're throwing those 4 pitches, it's just pointless. You know after the first 1 or 2 that he's going to get intentionally walked, and why tire out his arm? So I think it's a good rule, and I think they should keep going with it in future years.
I think it's kind of pointless in a few ways because if pitchers just want to walk the guy, they can do that without all the drama that just throwing it 3 feet outside the batter's box causes. I think it's a pretty stupid decision because you still have a chance of getting an out, striking out a hitter. Getting a home run is still rare, even if it's a good hitter. There's some amount of chance they're not going to get it. So why do that?
But then, you can.
Because what if you have no outs, runners on second and third? You have to put a runner on first to get the force. If you're going to have a chance at a force out at second base, or if you want to have a chance at a force out anywhere, you're going to have to put a runner on.
But then again, you have to think about if the aspect of throwing 4 pitches, there's always that possibility of a pitcher throwing a wild pitch and everyone advances. So do you really think it's a good idea to eliminate a prospect of a free base for a batter?
No, because I don't really think it would be a wild pitch because you're just throwing it nice and soft like a game of catch, and otherwise it's just pointless to throw your arm out 4 more times.
Okay, so our next question is, do you guys think that the NBA is losing popularity because the same 2 teams are going to the finals for the past 3 years and possibly even this year as well?
It's kind of hard to say that, looking at it from our perspective, because obviously I'm from Cleveland and the NBA is not getting boring for me. But I can understand for the other 28 cities, it has to be absolutely terrible for them because of just thinking of how much they support their teams, and they're just not going to make it. And it's almost pointless, and it doesn't matter to them anymore.
What do you think?
I think definitely, yeah. Once your team gets, down maybe 15, 10 games, then fans of that team probably stop watching it. Or in the playoffs, definitely, if your team's down 3-0 in the playoffs, then I can understand you wouldn't want to watch the game anymore.
And follow-up question, do you guys think that if this continues, the NBA in general, the association, the commissioner, do you think they will intervene and force some of these super teams to break up just to give a little variety?
I think a fair team, and if all the teams were fair, it would make the NBA a lot more competitive. But it's just so hard to do because the consistency of some players is so bad that they can have 40-point game one day and 10-point game next game. It's hard to control. I could see them doing it, but it wouldn't be effective for any of the league.
No, I don't think the NBA should break up super teams. I think super teams are there because they can draw people into their building, and if they put in the people, then the more the people pay, the more they have room for more great athletes to come into their team.
Okay, both good points. So our last question is, do you think in general pro athletes in the NFL, NHL, MLB are getting paid too much with money that could be going to curing sicknesses or diseases, but is instead going for entertainment purposes?
No, because as I said before, it's the people they're drawing into their building. Who pays the salaries? Us fans who come into their building. We pay for a ticket. We maybe pay for some lunch, some dinner. We pay for their merchandise. We pay for anything else they have out there selling. So we're paying them. And it's the fans who come to the game and pay the salaries.
But most of the time, the owners of this team also have another source of income. So don't you think instead of taking that money and putting it towards players and towards a new stadium and all of that, it could be going to other more useful causes in the world?
I think it could be, but their concern isn't like helping the people in the world, and they're not bad people, but their concern is their job, and their job is running an NBA team.
What do you think, Andrew?
I think as far as charity work, NBA teams already do a lot of charity work, and I think that's something to be said for that. But if you're, as he said, it's trying to bring people into your building, and I think they have a right to do whatever they want to do with that.
Okay, so this was In Your Face for Caden Leonard and Andrew Seaford. I'm Aiden Stearns, signing off.